It's time for business news now with Nona Peltier. She's joined me in the studio in Auckland. Nona, we talked about in the past industrial property sector. They're the ones who are doing quite well.
Yes, and that's partly because it's a pretty low maintenance type of thing. I mean, if you're a landlord of an industrial property, there's not a lot of bells and whistles there, are there? So you can just basically, it's a building, warehousing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and so overseas investors are interested, and there's been a deal.
Yeah, so a company that has a reasonably large portfolio of industrial property is a company called Stride. So they had about 200 million. They've acquired more properties. They've built it up to about 360 million. And they've got now a joint venture partner in the by way of JP Morgan Asset Management, which is a really big international organization. What they're going to do is bring international investors here, and they're going to grow that, so the size of that portfolio, which they're now calling a fund, to something like about 550 million over the next couple of years. And so JP Morgan, they're going to bring in some investment. So Stride's going to own about 70%, and JP Morgan's going to own 30%. And overall, the deal is going to be worth about another 185 million in terms of an investment. Now, that's going to bring international investors here. I mean, obviously, that's where they're hoping to go. That's just an opening, though. That's 360, looking for 550, and then more after that.
Interesting. Okay, cyber attacks. We hear a lot about this and the cost of them. How expensive are they running to?
They're moving. Well, this is reported, of course, because a lot of times people don't report losses, but they're becoming more likely to report these days. So reported financial losses were $6.5 million in the 3-month period ended in June. Now, that's almost a fourfold increase from what was at the beginning of the year, which was 1.7 million. So it's a big increase in the amount of damages caused by cyber attacks. And now, most of the time, it's not what you would think. It's really just the good nature of people that's being exploited. It's less technology, much more behavioral. So in other words, it can be addressed, and it's simply by using a lot of common sense and perhaps not being as trusting when somebody, when you get a bill presented by an email, not just paying it automatically.
You're saying it's largely people getting sucked in.
Yes, that's right, Lisa. People being sucked in, if that's one way of putting it. Now, the MB has a website via their CERT, which is the Computer Emergency Response Team, have a website, and it's CERT for short.
Right.
And if you go to their website, they have all sorts of tips and ways that you can get around this. But it's important to know that it's not really a high-tech wizardry that's at your business. It's really those kinds of things. And there wasn't like one big attack. This is across the board. And of course, there's other kinds of losses too. There's data loss, there's loss of reputation, operational loss. So there's a number of ways that cyber attacks can hurt your business or yourself personally. And there is a lot of information there on how to safeguard yourself. You might as well give it a go.
News you can use, Nona.
News you can use.
And what's been happening on the market today?
Really, actually quite a good day on the market all around. And that's partly because the trade talks are back on the cards, Lisa. Yes, indeed. It looks like the China and the United States negotiators are going to come back to the table and talk trade. And that really made the market feel quite I don't want to say bullish, but I'll tell you what, it certainly left a good taste in the mouth, so to speak. So the NZX Top 50 Index, it rose in line with other markets to another record close, 99 points up. That's 0.9%, almost a whole percent. And 107. I've never said that before. 11,107 was the close, so well above 11,000 there. And the dollar, it really also perked up, as well as the Australian did as well. 63.7 US cents, 93.5 Australian, and 52 British pence.
Thanks, Nona. Nona Peltier with our business news.